and welcome to Beads Jar. My name's Billy, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this Azure twisted bracelet. I've added a section of macrame weave to give us a slightly different fastener, so I do hope you all enjoy this one. We'll be working with these rope design 8mm metal beads, the beautiful Lapis Lazuli 8mm, Turquoise 8mm, and two 6mm of the Lapis Lazuli. I've also got two rope design beads for my starter and a rope design toggle fastener, but we'll only be using the O part of this. I've got a grey Superlon cord, some Fevi Kwik glue and some scissors. Take the toggle part of your clasp and cut a generous 60 centimetres of your Superlon. You then want to get ends correct to the same length, and we're going to put our clasp there and take that down our thread. Once in position, I'm just going to create a loop and tie a knot. So I'm going to loop around my finger, and then I'm going to take the ends together back through my loop and pull tightly to tie a knot off here. I'm now going to add one of my rope design beads onto that. And then I'm splitting the two threads separately. So I have a top thread and a bottom thread. To the top one, I'm going to add my first Lapis Lazuli bead. And then I'll pick up one of the 8mm rope beads. We'll take that through both of the threads and drop that down to the beads. On the opposite row, we're going to pick up another lapis bead as well. Drop that down the thread and pick up again your rope bead. So I've got two lapis threaded, and now I'm going to swap to two turquoise. So I'm taking the top cord and I'm picking up a turquoise bead. If you're finding that your thread's splitting at the ends, what I could suggest is to just dab them in a clear nail varnish and then run your fingers over them and let them dry. Don't let them sit together when they're drying, separate them out, and that'll just mean that your ends don't fray, and this makes it easier for threading your beads. But generally this Superlon's very nice to work with and doesn't fray as much as other threads can. So I'm just going to continue with this growing pattern for about another 5 centimetres. So I've threaded up the beautiful semi-precious beads, and the length I've done is to just short of the required length for my bracelet, because we're actually going to add a slightly different fastening mechanism for this one, just to give us a nice alternative. If you really prefer, you can just add the T-bar part onto your clasp, but you might find you want to do this slight macrame change. So I've got to the end, and I'm going to add, as we started, one of the rope design beads. Onto the thread. Doesn't matter that it's going to slide a little bit for now, because it will be held in place. And then I'm coming round and I'm going to go through my fastener with my thread. Okay, and here I'm going to add a section of macrame weave that can make our distance longer or shorter, so you can extend the bracelet to put it on, and then you'd pull, leaving us this little toggle fastener, which I'll show you, little toggle tassel end here. So I've just gone through my bead and through the thread, and now I need to also cut some extra Eslon. You want about 30 centimeters of Eslon. So this is a new piece of Eslon I've cut, and I'm going to go under these 4 strands here. So I'm keeping them down towards me, and this is my new piece that's moving now, so that's going under, and I'm going to half that exactly and tie a knot. Now your knot needs to not be extremely tight, but not, so you're not tying it as tight as you possibly can, because we need to have that movement for it to slide through. So I've got my knot in place, and now I'm going to start a macrame weave. I'm going to make a loop of a sort of D in my thread, and you'll notice that's gone over the top of my other cords. And then the next one I'm going to do a C, and that's coming under, so behind the D cord and up through the centre. And I'll move my hands out of the way so that's a bit clearer in just 1 second. So that was the D, and it's gone over, and the C came over the top and then behind and up through the loop of the D. And then when we pull that, that's going to slide up to the knot. And we're going to start on the opposite side. So this time we do the C shape first, so we create our C going over the other threads here, and then the D comes over the top of the end of the C thread, and then it goes underneath and up through the loop. And then we pull that tight. And then back to the starting side, so that's the D. I'm going to do about 7 macrame weaves here. There we have our 7 and our spare thread, which is still going to create our tassel here. Now that was my macrame thread, so I'm going to take the 2 ends and I'm going to create a knot. This is where we need to be a little bit patient with the project. So I've made my knot here, and I'm going to put my dot of Fevi Kwik, and I'm going to aim to put the Fevi Kwik on the thread that's coming out and the knot, but not put it on the threads underneath, because we need them to still move along. So you've got to be a bit accurate here, and just be patient and calm when you're putting your glue on that. So we don't want to slop it about everywhere, just getting it on that actual knot of the macrame. And I'm going to let that dry correctly. Okay, so my glue's dried here, and now I can use my scissors to take away the 2 threads. Now just double check before you start cutting that they are the threads from the macrame weave and not for our tassels. So I'm going to get as close as I can, take away that thread. And now what we have is a sliding section, so that when you put the bracelet on, you pull on the fastener, and to tighten your bracelet again, you're just pulling on the tassels to bring that together. And then we'll finish. So check first that you can put your hand through comfortably and that you can pull that in as tight as you need to for your bracelet. And then we're going to add our lapis beads onto the tassel. So you want to find out where it is that you need for your length of thread to be able to take the bracelet off. So I need it to be here, so I'm going to make my knots for my lapis here. So that'll come off my wrist nice and easily. And then separate the strands and you're going to create your knot for the lapis tassel. So I'm going back through that loop, one knot, and then two. So just making your next knot on there. So that's our little lapis tassel. So you can notice when we pull that in, and then that will give you that little drop at the end of the bracelet project, which I find really, really cute and effective. And I'm going to add some more glue just on these knots before trimming away the extra thread, so that we don't have any knots undoing, and then that would be able to slide back through our macrame. So just popping a tiny bit of glue on those knots there, and you want to let that dry. So we've let the glue dry, and now we can take away that thread after the beads that we don't need anymore. And there you have one very sweet, slightly different lapis and turquoise bracelet project. Thank you for watching our tutorial today. If you've enjoyed it, give us a big thumbs up, and remember, you can subscribe now to our YouTube channel to watch all of our latest creations and designs. Until next time, bye!